Welcome to our next lecture. In this lecture, we will be seeing the concept of work, heat, what is potential energy, kinetic energy, internal energy, and the two terms which are major terms in thermodynamics, that are enthalpy and entropy. So let's start with the first today's topic, that is work. What is work? We have learned in school days that work is defined as the movement or motion of force through a distance. That is, when force travels, consider this is my mass, okay? When I apply force F, it travels a distance. Consider this distance as S. So my work would be force into distance, right? We know that force is nothing, work is nothing but the force traveling through a distance, okay? But in thermodynamics, this is not the case. In previous lectures, I had told you about the concept of system, right? So in thermodynamics, when the system undergoes a transformation or any deformation, then we say work is being done. Means what? Either the system will expand, right, or it will contract. Then we say that the work has been done. Okay. Let's see this with an example. I will show you some basic simple derivation. Consider a piston cylinder arrangement, right, with no walls again. Okay. So there is some gas present in it, right? When I apply some force, consider it as F, right? When I apply some force, there would be a opposite and reacting force which will be due to the pressure inbuilt in this chamber. Consider that is as R, okay? And this piston, consider if it comes to this position, right? This hatch position which I am drawing. Consider this portion as dl. The whole length of the L is the whole length of the cylinder, and I am just taking a part that it just moves by a part. Consider that is L. So my this reacting force would be equivalent to my applied force, right? My reacting force would be equivalent to my acting force. We can say that here what is the force which is acting on this portion, internal portion? I can write R, means the reacting force. What it would be? The pressure inside the chamber, right? Pressure inside the chamber into the area of the cylinder. If I say this is the cross section, then this would be the whole area where my force would be acting, right? Into the area of the piston. This would be my reacting force. So see, we can write work done. I can write dW, means just for a small part. Work done, what we know that work done is equals to force, what we have written here, force into displacement, right? Displacement, right? I'm just taking this from here. So my force, can I write my force as we know from this? Consider this as equation 1 and from 2. My force is equivalent to R, and what is my R? P into A. Can I write F is equals to P into A? See, my F is equivalent to R. So I am writing what? R is P into A. And what is my S? S is the displacement. We have considered dl as the displacement here, right? dl. Now we know that area into length is nothing but volume P, right, into volume. I consider it a differential volume, right? So my dW becomes PdV. But this is just for a one length. So for a complete length, I need to integrate it. So my del W becomes integration. I need to sum it, right? Integration of PdV. So this is my equation for work done. That is integration of PdV. Okay. This is for a closed cycle. Now, in the earlier example, I have shown you the PVTS diagrams, right? PV diagrams. Here, from process 1 to process 2. Okay, we will, what is the work done? We define work done here is that the area under this curve. Area under this curve is nothing but the work done. What it is? dw, we write integration of from point 1 to 2 p dv, that is p into bracket v2 minus v1, that is change in volume, right, which has taken place, is nothing but my del w. Understood? Okay, now you need to remember two important concepts for work transfer here. I am drawing one diagram for your better understanding, right? This is illustration. This is my system. You need to know what is positive work and what is negative work, right? So consider this is my system. When the work is done by the system, we say it is positive. When the work is done by the system, we say it is positive, right? Similarly, when heat, that is we represent heat by Q here, when Q is added to the system, when heat is added to the system, we say it is positive, right? Similarly, vice versa, we will have it when work is done on the system. See, the arrow is doing, work is being given to the input to the system, right? And heat is being rejected. We say it is negative. So we are having two terms, that is positive work and negative work. When the work is done by the system, we define it as positive work, and when work is done on the system, we say it is negative work. Okay students, hope you are clear with this concept of work and what is positive work and negative work. Now we will move to the concept of heat. Okay, what is heat? Heat is defined as the energy interacting force caused due to temperature difference between the system and surrounding, right? This is the definition, that is energy interacting force caused due to the temperature difference between system and surrounding. Consider a cup of tea, right? When it is served, it is hot, right? So what is the heat, what is the temperature here, and we measure, right? And when it is allowed to cool, the temperature changes. So why did I give this example? That the change in heat has nothing to do with the mass transfer. The mass here is constant, right? The amount of tea which I had poured was same, but there is heat transfer which took place. So this is the concept of heat, and we all know that Q added means in the previous example which I had shown you, system, this diagram, when heat is being added, it is said to be positive, and when heat is being rejected and heat added, it is said as positive. Q rejected, it is said to be negative heat, right? This is the concept of heat you need to remember. Now we will move to our next topic, that is types of energies, that is kinetic energy, potential energy, and what is meant by internal energy. Potential energy, the energy possessed by a substance or a system due to its molecular arrangement is known as potential energy, right? We know that. Consider this is my ground level, and if I throw a ball upwards, right? This is the ball which I throw upwards, it reaches some height, and then again it falls back down. This falling back of the ball is due to the potential energy. Why? What are the forces which are acting in this occurrence of ball falling down? That is the mass of the ball itself into the gravitational force, that is 9.81, which we know due to the gravity it is falling down, and this force depends on height. What is this height from what it is falling, right? This is the formula of potential energy. Potential energy is equal to mgh. That is mass. Here is mass of object. G is gravitational force and h is the height from falling, when object is falling, right? Clear with potential energy? Now next we have kinetic energy. This, the definition is the energy possessed by a body, energy possessed by body when it is in motion, when in motion, right? We all have studied these terms in our school level. Kinetic energy we denote it by half mv square, that is where m is mass, v is the velocity with what the object is traveling. Clear? Potential energy and kinetic energy. Now we will have a term that is internal energy. The definition of internal energy is definition is the algebraic sum of internal kinetic energy, which you have learned, plus internal potential energy, right? The sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy is nothing but your internal energy. We denote internal energy by small u, okay? And u, we all know that in both the cases we have seen that potential energy equals to mgh and kinetic energy equals to half mv square. So in both the terms m is there, that is mass is there. So internal energy is mass dependent, So this becomes as an extensive property, right? In the earlier lecture we have seen what is intensive property and extensive property. So internal energy is an extensive property. Next, internal energy is a function of temperature. What it means is that as the temperature of a body increases, my internal energy also increases, and as my temperature decreases, my internal energy also decreases. We can say that internal energy is a function of temperature. Okay, clear with the concept of internal energy? Next, moving to our next concept, that is flow work. We all have seen what is work, right? Now that work to happen in a flow, consider a pipe wherein my water is entering and leaving. Okay, the water to flow from point 1 to point 2, there should be a continuous flow, right? There should be a continuous flow. So what my continuous flow would be? To move the water in this pipe, flow work, we represent flow energy, we can say flow energy is nothing but I would require the pressure which is applied on the water to move, right? Pressure into the volume of water at point 1. Say it would be same at any point. If you draw at any point, consider this as A, B, C, D, E. Okay, my flow work at any point would be the pressure into its specific volume, right? This is my flow work. You need to keep this in concept in mind when we will solve steady flow energy equation. Okay. Next, moving to enthalpy. What is enthalpy? These two terms, that is enthalpy and entropy, you need to remember because we will require this in chapter number 2, 3 and 4. Right? Enthalpy. What is enthalpy? Enthalpy is nothing but the total heat content in a body. Okay? Enthalpy is the total heat content in a body. We denote enthalpy by H, capital H. H equals to, what is the total heat content in a body? That is U, that is internal energy, plus P, that is absolute pressure, plus the specific volume, where U is internal energy, P is the absolute pressure, and V is specific volume. Okay, the unit here is kilojoule per kg, okay. For ideal gases, my enthalpy would be H equals to m Cp delta T. Okay, for ideal gases my enthalpy will be m into Cp and delta T. What is my m? M is the mass, Cp is the specific heat at constant pressure. Okay, Cp is specific heat at constant pressure, and my delta T, that is T2 minus T1, okay, is my temperature difference. Clear with the concept of enthalpy? What is enthalpy? It is the total heat contained in the body. We denote enthalpy by H. H is nothing but that is integral summation of internal energy plus absolute pressure into specific volume. Unit is kilojoule per kg. Okay. Now next, moving to our last term, that is entropy. What is entropy? Entropy. You can see this word tropy, that's T-R-O-P-W. This is a Greek word which means transformation. Right? Entropy is defined as degree of randomness. Okay? Entropy is degree of randomness. Let's understand this by a basic example. Consider a glass full of ice cubes. These are ice cubes which I am drawing, right? Now here the molecules of the ice cubes are closely packed, right? That is, these molecules are well arranged in lattice, right? So here the randomness is less randomness or disorder or less disorder. Okay. Consider another a glass which is full of water. Here the molecules of water, this is a solid state which we have seen, this is liquid state. We all know that the molecules in liquids are free to move with as compared to solid, right? They are free to move. So the disorder here would be more as compared to the solid ones, right? And similarly for gaseous state, the molecules are free to expand in any direction. Okay, so here the disorder is the maximum. So we can say that in this first case, as the degree of randomness or disorder is less, so we can say that here the entropy is less. In this case, we say that entropy is more. Okay? Clear with what is the definition of entropy? Now, let's see how we represent it mathematically. Entropy, it is denoted by S. Entropy is denoted by S, and we write as heat or energy, ratio of heat or energy to the per degree Kelvin temperature. Heat, we know that we denote heat by Q and temperature by T, but we don't measure entropy at a single point of time. Means we don't measure what is the entropy at point 1. We don't measure. We always measure this in a relative term. That is the change in entropy from point 1 to point 2. What is the change which has happened from point 1 to point 2. That is, we measure it, that is known as the change in entropy. We write change in entropy as del Q by T. That is the change in heat, the heat which is being rejected or gained divided by the temperature. Right? The unit here is kilojoule per kg, and as there is a function of temperature, we write kilojoule per kg degree Kelvin is the temperature of entropy. Hope you are clear with this today's lecture of theory concepts. In the next lecture, we will be seeing the zeroth law, that is the laws of thermodynamics. In that we will cover zeroth law, first law and second law. Okay, thank you.